horse drifted alarmingly in the betting was, Fensler in the morning continued to drift. It was late on the exchanges to lose. It was something you'd see in a Dick Francis novel, Charles Buttons.
The ground is soft. It's
heavy.
It's soft on times.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Barsters Inquiry Sunday Sermon. It is the last one, thankfully, of 2025. And this is the show where we'll be discussing all things 2025, a future death sweep for 2026, and of course, all the racing action we've had over the weekend, together with your questions and funnies and whatever we can fit in with myself, John Lang, and Chris. Good evening, chaps.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
This should be a really fun show to do in a way because this is the last one, and I know some people out there saying thank God. The bad news is we'll be back next week in 2026. This show, of course, is sponsored by Cook on Sunday, and you can follow us on Twitter, Cook on Sunday 1. You can subscribe and like on YouTube, Cook on Sunday. We have done 5 shows so far. And I can tell you now, they are top class. We've got recipes on there that we've had punters right into us saying how good John's sprout recipe was. Punters that have done Nick's potato recipe out of the leftover taters. So if you've got like a New Year's dinner coming up, again, refer back to that because these recipes will still be valid. The next show we'll be doing, of course, is a detox show for next week. So don't forget to join us next Sunday morning where we'll try and eat some better food after overindulging this week. Have you guys overindulged this week?
I feel like I have.
Yeah, I have. I've been terrible.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Isn't it like going at Seaside and you just fan fish and chips and you have it and then you feel fucking shit after it? It's same this week for me. I've had some amazing stuff and then you start to feel this is where you're running out of gas, isn't it?
Yeah, run out of petrol. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I don't know if any of our listeners feel like that, but so don't forget, Cook on Sunday next week. And of course, without further ado, a plug for our own Patreon service, which has done tremendously well over the Christmas period. 4 from 5 on Boxing Day. The 5th one that actually did get beat, I think went very short in running. So we absolutely nailed it. And none of them were fav, Chris. No favs, no blog on Barsters.
All proper prices, yeah, can't complain. All proper prices.
If that's your thing, then come and join us on Patreon for New Year's bets this week. And I'm sure we'll look after you as we start to hit form going into the new year. John, the action took place this week. There's been lots of controversy with yesterday, the ground and the advertised ground. But first of all, let's go through the main Grade 1 action over Friday and Saturday and Sunday. If we go back to Friday, it was, of course, the flagship race of the entire Christmas calendar. Of course, the King George. Some Irish might say it was the Savills. We're saying it's the King George. Mr. H. Redknapp, Esquire, John, I think he might have got under your bonnet a little bit.
Yeah. Along with Ferguson, he's one of the jammiest owners I've ever known in my life. How many horses would get headed like that and battle back? Thinking count them on one hand this last century. But can't say he gets one, doesn't he? And it's bully for him, bully for Sandra, and bully for the Rowley Powley.
Sandra of the Jam Rowley Powley. Yeah. What is it about? I mean, we discussed this on a previous show, didn't we? I can't remember which one it was. It might be in last week's, I don't know. But it were him and Ferguson in terms of the look factor. It's as if like they just buy horses and then automatically win Grade 1.
It looks that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
And you get other people that spend absolutely quinton.
3 years at this game and never managed to buy a winner. Never mind Grade 1. Yeah.
The press have waxed lyrical over it. Plenty of interviews for Big Harry. Is that not
the way the press and maybe in general conduct themselves when they have winners? It's just so fucking nauseating. You'd think Harry Redknapp winning that big race on Boxing Day was going to solve every problem in the game. To listen to the media after the race, and it's not going to solve a single problem. Yeah, it's just rich man gets still richer. That's the end of the political side of it altogether. It's going to affect the game one way or another.
Yeah, Chris, can I come to you just for your opinion on Harry Redknapp and
Yes.
proceeding? How do you find it? Do you enjoy it? That Harry Redknapp's, is this good for the game? Maybe a football manager owning a King George winner, does that bring the football people into it? Is trying to put the other side of the coin to John's point that he's like nauseating, but how do you see it?
Probably might, actually. It might have some kind of minor effect, but frankly, you can model all you like, but luck beats everything, and that guy's just so lucky, isn't he? He's unbelievable. Yeah. But it's probably a positive thing for the game, I think, in reality.
I saw that tweet when you said about you can have all your models, shove them in bin because luck trumps them all. It's a true statement. We've discussed this on shows before. People say, you're talking rubbish because if you're good enough, you just win. But that's not necessarily the case. I suppose it depends how much you win. You could be the best in Britain, but not win the most in Britain.
Just unbelievable luck. There are people who are much bigger owners than him who've spent much more money and haven't enjoyed a fraction of success. It's luck, whatever it is. If it's luck or some unknown force, some people have got it and some people haven't, and he has got it in spades.
Yeah, and of course, John, discussing the race, the remarkable factor that it was a 4-horse driving finish. It makes it even more. It's not like it's won 10 wickets, drawing clear. It's literally won in a 4-horse end, Bob, hasn't it? But what a farce of a race, because I said it round the home bend. How can nearly every runner are grouped up like within 4 lengths of each other? Didn't make any sense. Usually in a King George, they're strung out like washing, aren't they?
I think they maybe didn't go that quick.
No, they didn't.
Obviously, a decent early pace is a great leveller in this. So the actual worth of the farm, we may have to wait and see how things pan out. I mean, I was very disappointed with the ride the Frog got.
Yeah, he went way too slow, didn't he?
It just seemed as though his entire plan resolved around going as slow as he possibly could while hanging onto the lead. Rather than getting out there and getting a mile at it like he has done the last 2 years he's been to Kempton.
Whether it made any difference, we don't know. It might be a busted flush. But my take on race was Django Bay, if he had another pilot, he'd have been given a sort of a better ride than 4 wide all race. He'd have jumped slightly better. I think he would have won. I think conditions were too quick, which we'll come on to in a bit about the going descriptions this weekend. But to me, I thought I'd rate him the winner of the race in terms of how things panned out. Only thing I would say is I don't think any of them anyway will win a Gold Cup no matter what.
I wouldn't like to rule Django Bay out. I didn't think there was one there that screamed Gold Cup winner, no.
No, noodle arms for me. I'm sorry, but he's definitely a bit of a handicap, I feel, in terms of quality pilots that are around these days. He just doesn't cut the mustard for me, but that's my take on it, sadly. Apart from Django Bay, possibly, we don't see any other winner coming out and winning the Gold Cup. I think Fry still likes Garlic Warrior, but yeah, me and John not so keen. The Kauto Star ran early in the day, 2.5 seconds slower than the King George. Kitzbühel won. We were quite favourable on Kitzbühel on the pod. Got the right ride, typical Kempton ride. Andy front end, got the job done. I'm going to put one to you here, John. Salva, I thought shaped the best in the race. I said on the pod that Salva would be ridden negatively, probably. It was. It gave Kitzbühel 6 to 7 lengths start at the tapes. Never really got in it. Didn't jump fantastically well on the quicker ground. I feel at 40 to 1 for the Brown Advisory, yes, he's not going to beat Final Demand. If there's any sort of like without Final Demand markets, that's the one I want to be with, Salva. I think this horse is on just a little bit more testing conditions. I think he would beat Kitzbühel, personally.
I will beat him, but I think he's certainly got the potential to run better than he did there.
How was your take on the race?
Pretty much as you said, Lee. I mean, Kitzbühel had a fairly easy time with it. All honesty, I think if you're going to get that horse beat at this trip, somebody's going to have to get him at it early on. Because if you keep having races run like that, he will keep winning them. I have no doubt about that in my mind.
Absolutely. We move on to the Christmas hurdle. Sergino causing headaches for everyone at the moment, as Popeye ain't got a clue where it's going to go, really. Azendam Monday, tomorrow, as the time of recording. Obviously, same connections. It's a bit of a mess because Sergino would be going for probably the champion chase. I had State Man being fit, but obviously State Man not fit, then depends maybe what Azandam does tomorrow. Maybe look what that does, where Sergino probably ends up. But for me, Sergino is the best 2 mile hurdler around at the moment, I think.
I agree with you, mate. The trouble is, all this indecision, it sort of stifles two markets anti-post, doesn't it? Because you can't really have a player either the Champion Chase or the Champion Hurdle at the moment.
Yeah. So Sergino, that will be up to the owners and the Donnelly where it eventually goes. So we can't really advise anyone to start playing, or we don't know. There might be a curveball yet to come regarding that. So we have to sit on our hands, I'm afraid, in those anti-post markets. Romeo Coolio, John, at Leopardstown in the Novice Chase. God, I'm impressed with this horse. Mega fast time. He won it snugly in the end.
I think he'll go a bit further. I think that might be the key as well to getting a real tip-top performance out of him. A little bit longer trip.
Don't you think a strongly run Arkle might suit him, though, down at ground?
Well, I haven't seen anything that I'd back to base him in an Arkle yet.
This is some tackle, this. I think he had no right to beat Irish Panther in terms of how Irish Panther ran his race. And July Flower was third. She's a solid 143 mare. She gets the £7. There's no reason to say she hasn't run a race. If she's run to sort of 143, that means that Coolio has run to probably 160 plus. And that's of a 2 mile one, and the race wasn't mega strongly run. So, to me, bad backing for the Arkle. I think they might chance the Arkle.
Really?
I mean, I could be wrong, but like you said, it's better to come over further. I think he'll get 3 mile in time.
Yeah.
I just think he's a very good horse. Certain national horses that you know are just very good, and head and shoulders of what I've seen so far. So I'd be happy to take a chance and hope that in an Arkle that they do go good lick, and I think you get paid out if they do. That's how I'd stand on Romeo Coolio.
Yeah, he's very hard to oppose at this stage.
We go on to Saturday. We'll start off with Crapster, which, of course, caused the big controversy in terms of the ground description, which was described by Clerk of the Course as good to soft. And the times, Lydia's talking to Hendo, the Welsh National was run 8 seconds faster than standards. And whilst it was a good performance by Haiti Couleurs, if you look at that race, John, the first 6 home, really, were all within the first 7 ridden from the start, if you know what I mean. The winners took it up after 7 fences. There's nothing really much to upgrade. Beaufort Scale ran well in 7th because that was given the most to do of the BFGs. But it's not form I'd go to bed with because it's obviously fairly quick ground. It just suited prominent runners.
Quick ground at Chepstow, how often do you get that? You know, I mean, it's. I think it's a rare enough event that you can possibly ignore it. You know, for future farm study services, and I'd rather just chalk the Welsh Nash up to experience. I think
it's disappointing that ground was like that. Personally, we don't like to see too heavy ground, but you do like to see a decent stamina test, and a stamina test it particularly wasn't. Well, if that's good, that's good. That's your barrow. But just one thing though about the ground at the weekend and how it was advertised at certain tracks: Chepstow and Kempton. Kempton was definitely quick, not given as quick, and Chepstow was definitely quick, not given as quick. So James Sanderson, obviously our famous interview from our young Jack back in the day at Thirst, where James Sanderson got absolutely pilloried on Twitter, absolutely abused. This is terrible. Why is it terrible when James Sanderson's description worked exactly to the times? Even though he knew the going stick was really quick, the times were good to firm times. They're good covering of grass. He got no fear about the ground. He knew if he'd have said 10.5, there'd have been probably 25 non-runners.
Well, there would. The only thing I can say in defence of people who want stick ratings, of course, is people have been keeping records over the last few years at Thirsk and equating the stick ratings given to particular states of ground. Now, when he eventually leaves the post and somebody comes in and takes over and possibly gives the correct stick ratings, all the work that person's done in logging and collating the information on stick ratings while Mr. Sanderson's been in post, all that work becomes null and void.
So what time limit are we going on here? Are we saying when Ascot used to give 10 at the Royal Meeting, and call it good to firm. It was turf tracks then, right? Giving it as 10 and good to firm. Now they give it as 7.8 and 7.9 as good to firm. So what does the data analyst do then?
Probably reaches for a revolver and goes into a tent on his own. I mean,
but you get my
point. And I think anybody logging the data from the likes of Ascot, Newmarket, where we know full well they've raced on 11 point something and what have you, it's been nothing like hard ground even. It's just been good to firm. It's good, quick ground. I get the feeling from all this that there's been some sort of unwritten consensus amongst the clerks to drop the ratings myself. But
to be honest, I hope so, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to diss turf tracks here because all clerks of the course are interested in is getting bums on seats in the restaurants, is getting people to turn up. Some trainers are absolutely obsessed. If a stick reading's too high, they won't run. Now, Rafe and Ralph Beckett and Richard Annan Jr. sat on Nick Luck's sofa. Nick Luck asked them a straight question. Do you look at the going sticks in terms of, or do you listen to what the clerk of the course says? And both of them said clerk of the course.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? Other than data nerds and modelers, there's not much faith in the community in terms of what the stick reading actually is, because I'm sorry, but James Sanderson was bang on that night. And I'll challenge anyone to say otherwise. Just say that, well, James Sanderson said good to firm. The Times came out as good to firm. What are you all moaning at? Nerds. So that's my view on going sticks and crap like that. If you've got a good clerk of the course with experience, you expect them to get it right. And I know Kirkland didn't. You have to, but then that's when you have to walk the track, because if a clerk doesn't get it right, you know the ones that don't. And then you know the ones that do. And you trust them. Like I'd trust you. You said to me once, fat in the paddock, John, not Mr. Christmas dinner, this one, right? I listen. Yeah. And that's the point. And there's some people you don't listen to. That's the way of the world. That's what our view on the going fast this weekend. The data came back as good to firm for Chepstow. The data come back for good to firm at Kempton. That's all we can say on the matter. So what use is the fucking stick? Leopardstown that day, there was 2 Grade 1, the Paddy's Rewards Club Chase, Grade 1, Solness won, Marine National second, Madgeborough third. Summing this up quickly, John, Madgeborough can't jump, never has been able to jump, and it's a shame because it's got a right engine, this bugger. Yeah, when it does jump.
He's one you have to disregard, really, isn't he, though, because Cheltenham's probably harder jump round than Leopardstown, and because of the fact he's got such an engine, he's never going to be overpriced. So I think you're just going to have to take the view that if he wins and gets all his jumping together, you can afford to lose as a punter.
Do you buy the hype about Marine National?
The hype as in people saying he would have won if he hadn't made that big mistake.
Yeah.
Just about. I think it was enough to stop him winning, I think.
Got to be fair on that. I'll be honest, and I don't want to be rude here, but I don't think he's got the best pilot at the moment. Mr. Flanagan. That's just how I see it. He knows the horse, but I know that. But there you go. That's summed up there. Marine National, at least like we said, Marine National should have won the race. Madgeborough's got a cracking engine, but just isn't fluent enough. Coming to the Future Champions Novice Hurdle on the same card, Skylight Hustle presented with the race. I was so disappointing to see the Baby Josephs fall at the last, because Talk the Talk, I think, would have won that easily. I think it would have drawn clear, John.
It certainly looked that way. You couldn't be 100% certain, but that's the way it was looking to me, really. With the second being rated 127, though, even though when that came down, does it inspire you as a supreme novice kind of race? I think you sort of, we're getting to the time of year where the horses that run in them type of races, they're your candidates, aren't they? You know, whether the ratings are high enough or not. You have to be sort of looking amongst those types. What are we saying that's better so far, you know? I don't know. We can come on to one we've probably missed, which was My Boy Paddy at Aintree, which was a bit of a farce of a race. Travelled all over the winner down the straight, but just left floundering, like flapping around like an Atlantic salmon on the running. I thought he punched it myself. Yeah. I wasn't very enamoured with him myself. I was very disappointed with what he found for pressure. Yeah, I'm undecided on that market at the moment. It's a tricky one, I'll be honest. That's sort of one I can
give the old swerve. Kempton that day, a couple of Grade 2. Not going to discuss them, that's rubbish. So today, a couple of races I want to touch on. Christmas Hurdle at Leopardstown. Teahupoo John from Bollinger.
He keeps winning, doesn't he? You know.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks he wants a bog, but you know, Ballyburn doesn't want a bog necessarily, and he slumped in there. He's just a fucking good horse, isn't he, Teahupoo?
Ballyburn's become really disappointing because while people point out that he's won 8 from 14, he's lost 5 of his last 6.
Yeah.
At 7-4, 4-7, 11-8, 13-8, and 13-8. The only one he won was when he beat Croke Park 8-13, and that was obviously he had a 6-runner novice chase from Croke Park. But barring that, I know it sounds like Chris Pull, but how he went off 13-8, I don't know. Maybe Teahupoo weren't quite straight. That's the thing. We don't know. This is the thing at the time of the year. The Irish trainers are shrewd. They don't necessarily have them cherry ripe this time of year. And this is the info. They'll know going forward what they've got in terms of fitness to come. That's how the Irish train.
If Bob Ollinger was a normal horse, you wouldn't roll out that 7-length improvement from debut to next run, would you?
No. Only thing is, Bob Ollinger, as you know, you've highlighted this a long time ago. You think a few problems.
I think there's physical issues there that they aren't quite on top of, and I always get the impression they could surface at any time, you know.
Yep. Savills Chase at the Grade 1 event, which was won, of course, by Affordale Fury, run this afternoon from Ian Maximus, which puts doubts over the level of the form because that horse probably fat as butter. But I'm going to put my neck on the chopping block here. And I think the 7-1 available for the Gold Cup, Galloping Deschamps, is absolutely massive. I think it's enormous. I genuinely think this horse it could create history. And nothing put me off on that run. All Willie Mullins' runners in the main have needed a run this year. He went to the front just before the turn. Then they sort of like crowded him up. He's not blessed with an amazing turn of foot or anything. He's just got that outright raw galloping speed. And I felt he was on maybe the wrong part of the track on the running as well. The stand side come to the fore. I felt that was a really good comeback. I know people that's backed him at 6-5 might say otherwise, but honestly, I haven't lost any confidence in him whatsoever. I would take that 7-1. I don't think you see 7-1 on the day. He's not gone at the game at all. He's not. You know, he might have run below form there, but that's not the target. That's not the pinnacle, is it? The target is in March, and I don't think there was anything wrong with that, John.
No, I don't either. People rating his obituaries are a little bit wide of the mark. I mean, the horse is only 9-year-old. He's not got a lot of miles on the clock either. And as you say, with the Mullins yard tending to look as though they've been named their own, it'd be very foolish to roll him out of the Gold Cup at this stage.
100%. That's where I stand on Grade 1s this weekend. He'd be my main play. 7-1, generally available. He's not gone at the game. And his next run, you know what Mullins is like, might even go straight there. We don't know.
Exactly.
He'd done that Tremor thing. What was that boring horse that they had? I can't remember the name. I'm shit with names. But yeah, he kept running at Tremor, didn't it, on New Year's Day? And then going straight. Everyone were bored with it because they never saw it. Alboom Photo. Terrible place. Right, coming up to some racing questions. Gary Cheesefinger's been on. Another good name. Nearly as good as Steve Mustard. Not quite as good, but not far off.
Up there,
yeah. How much did John secretly have on Harry's horse? Surely he puts something on to dull the pain of knowing a Redknapp win would send ITV into full-blown Harry Wankfest.
I did mention this a few months back. I very rarely let these horses run loose because of the psychological distress a win will cause for me. So.
Yeah, I knew it was crossing. I'm sorry, mate. I did chuckle.
Well, that's why I take action, because everybody's going to chuckle out.
Yeah, I know how you're feeling. Percy's been on. He said, Henderson annoys me. Sergino should commit to the hurdle route. But
Not your show, Percy.
Because the faller is in the stable, he won't. The owners should say hurdles and no more pissing about. Yeah, Percy, totally agree with you on that. Most improved horses. John Mack's been on. He says, most improved chaser of 2025, Thistle Ask. Where does the improvement end? How have they done incredible stuff? Anything to comment on that, John?
Not really. I mean, I just agree with him. You know?
Korak's been on years ago. trainer switches were regular. Certain traders could improve horses from lesser yards, literally stones. Now Skelton's working wonders with animals like Thistleask, Cabral de Mathan, potentially. Is it just getting them fit, or do they spot physical issues and rectify?
Well, without being on the inside at the yard, it's hard to say, really. I mean, they might have their list of people that like to get them off, and they know for a fact that they improve them from these yards. I don't know. You know, that would be the answer. And unless they came out and said something, we're not going to know.
Len's summed this up in a way. Len replied on that, and he said, I wonder this also, do facilities make that much of a difference? Likewise, as a trader, my assumption is higher grade feed potential and better planning. Could be completely wrong and wouldn't be surprised. I think there's so many variables. Len is right. I know trainers that have gone fit feed and then they up the feed like towards a race, and that's how training works. You might do your 3 novice spins on shit feed where you haven't got the high-end nutrient, you haven't got that oof. And then when it's D-Day, you up the feed. It's not really rocket science in terms of like feeding stuff. Fitness is the same. Do you just canter them and not gallop them and keep them a couple of gallops short out for certain races, so you know that whatever they do, you can work out there's going to be another 10 lengths there or something? It's a lot of that. Skelton will be no different in that way. Obviously, we know in the past people have had carrots. That's another factor. Despite people thinking it's some kind of conspiracy theory, that's just absolute rubbish. That's people just putting the fingers in their ears, not considering the fact that some people actually do have carrots. That's where I'll be on that. Chepstow Ground question, Katie and Dub, have the clerk of the courses learned nothing or just don't give a fuck? I think the problem is, it's the commercial aspect. It's like everything. If you're running a pop concert, let's say, I'm not saying the main act's turning up, but the second main act that people absolutely love isn't turning up, and they've said, no, we're not turning up. They won't sell.
No.
Because they don't want anyone that likes that second act on. Think, can't be asked then, I want the money back, or whatever. They want bums on seats. They want people to turn up, eat and dine in the restaurant, drink champagne, and have a day at the races. And if you give a going stick reading out off the charts, they ain't turning up because they'll believe that reading. And I am not as data driven on going stick readings. I believe in actual readings, which is after the day. If the times say slow, then it's slow. Don't really matter what they've said before races.
No.
If the time says quick. So what are going stick readings? If Chris Gardner said, should clocks just bin off their sticks as they don't seem to use them? Chris, I probably agree. They're probably not asked, like John says. Is it like a Mason's charter where they've all joined hands and funny handshakes in a big meeting and they've just said, fuck this stick?
The only thing you won't find them getting involved in a suicide pact.
Well done.
We've got pensions to think about.
Other racing questions. Roscoe's been on. He goes, lads, what courses do you never bet at? Well, I think if you're a long-term listener of this show, John, you're going to say Newmarket July.
Yeah.
Can you add to that?
Brighton. I think when you get caught on the hop like this, it's not so easy. They don't spring readily to mind. Very, very rare aerobatic Catterick. That might be about it. Obviously, the jumps tracks, it's as rare as Rocking Horse shit anyway, you know.
I'm not having that. In the old tipping days, you've won 2 Naps crowns.
I wouldn't remember. I've been very selective about how often I ever bet.
Listeners for Alt moaning, he's had more national and veterans chase winners than any of us. And he moans at them all. So there you go.
You don't have to like it to win at it.
John's been on, he goes, one of the BHA's targets was to improve Sunday racing. And what have we got today during a busy Christmas period? Catterick, Leicester and Southwell. What targets should the BHA have in 2026? Again, it's the fixture list problem. If tracks have bid for it, they've got that fixture and that's what they're doing. There's not a lot the BHA can do. Until the fixture list comes back in-house, or BHA have more power on that, it's the only thing I'll defend the BH on, I think, at the moment, in terms of there's nothing they can do until all these media rights.
The world just sells more power, haven't they, really?
Yeah, they need more power. They're a regulator, for God's sake. How can you have a regulator with no power? Bizarre. But that's their own doing. They could have certainly put the foot down, and like as John says, on gross profit tax, things and other things they could have done throughout the years to strengthen racing's position. You've seen the recent Kempton debacle from the Jockey Club, where they've
I
just...
mean, irrespective of fixtures and anything else, Lee, I mean, gross profit tax is the standout reason why we're in the mess we're in now.
I'm afraid so, because we've got a funding model that rewards... What is it, John?
The sport needs followers of the sport to have their pants pulled down.
Yeah. It just don't make any sense. And then people will argue and say, well, how do we pay for that? But surely it should be based on a turnover tax rather than a...
Well, whatever it's based on, I'm not saying the bookies need to contribute more. What I'm saying is racing needs to do more to help itself and show some initiative.
It does.
Plenty of other areas that can provide income streams without going to the bookies cap in hand, and certainly the government will make the bookies pay more because we can't. The lack of initiative at the top is absolutely staggering. Right, before we come on to some really good topics and bring Chris in for these. Chris, as you know, listeners, Chris is like the sinister as fuck. He's a terrible human being. He's bar humbug Christmas. And yet he's ate, I can tell you now, inside information, he's ate merrily. He's absolutely scoffed himself stupid this Christmas. So all this about bar humbug.
Fat pig, yeah.
So before we go on to that, just one more thing. People or horses to watch, anything to watch in 2026. Rap's been on, John, and he said, Cage Eruption, you will either strike gold by some fluke or pull out of racing altogether. Another money man rinsed by the establishment and the jackals. That's Pete's take. I think he's got a little bit more than just this year. I think 2 years. Yeah. Would be, if I had to put a time frame on it, I think the end of flat season 2027 might see a little bit of a re-evaluation of things and result in Frame Race and Lodge standing empty for 5 to 10 years. Yeah, I think it's gone a little bit longer than 12 months. Yeah. Being on the positive side, I have mentioned him on a previous show. A jockey that goes by the name of Ryan Corcoran that rides for David Pipe. He actually rode an early bird winner the other day in a Sedgefield bumper for David Pipe. He has got outstanding qualities, not just as a rider, but he has a brain. And this is a chap that knows what he's doing. And the problem is with jockeys these days, a lot of them are brought along in the Perham, Dave Cross mould, same sort of style. This lad, I don't think these lads have been near him, which is a huge plus. His style's good. He can sit on a horse. He's strong. He seems to be tactically astute, John. And you keep an eye on him when you see him on a ride where you think, ooh, this horse has got a chance as well. I think this lad is one to follow. Ryan Corcoran, the £7 conditional for David Pipe. He is absolutely mustard. I don't think he deserves a claim right now. That's how good he is. Yeah. I'll definitely keep an eye on them, lads. You know, Phil Mel, when Santa's sleigh lands in Central Park and Spirits on Zero. And after I've just mentioned that, when you went, it was like fuel tanks empty when you turn key.
It's underwhelming. Not really an endorsement, was it? It was like, okay,
unless he's like to hear a lot of rides at the Craven, mate, and he's not really going to figure a great deal in my life. So.
No, I know you're not a jumps punter, but certainly for our jumps punters.
Absolutely, yeah.
Seriously, this is a guy that you've got to pay close attention to, especially if he's the first time he's taking the 7 off, being ridden by, Tom Barfoot, double barrel, whoever last time, and then it's Mr. Corcoran involved. Yes, that's the way forward. Ice Cold Q's been on, and he said, young Cal Helliwell to get more airtime. Positive, enthusiastic, and knowledgeable without being OTT. Knows the score humour-wise too. Festive highlights was Rebecca Curtis's lips. Aren't they great?
I didn't say
that. John, you should be noticing this shit.
I never saw Curtis's lips. Was it windy?
Very good. Yeah, skirt blew up. Yeah.
That thing sail over my head for once. Cal Helliwell, I would say yes, he's a great broadcaster. You don't really see a lot of him. Like you say, he's like at the races on graveyard shifts. Yeah. You see him at Wolves at sort of late at night. You see him, they often send him all over the place, Newcastle, anywhere bar the big tracks. So
We need to see him on an opening show, and I'd say very special or something.
Yeah, for something, Ice Cold Cube, he's a good broadcaster. He's very slick. There's no airs, there's no crap.
You'll have to go some to beat Megs in that micro mini she wore on Saturday morning on the opening show.
He actually goes out with Tristan Durrell now, the jockey,
Wow.
Skelton's jockey.
Well, given the outfit on Saturday, I'd say lucky old Tristan, basically.
Absolutely. Right, on to the next topic, which is, of course, John, Chris, and should have had a good think about this. 2025, highs and lows of racing this year. There must be something in your locker that's either floated your boat or got right under your rib cage.
Harrington going for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big racing plus, yeah?
That was huge. I mean, if somebody said to me at the start of the year you can have anything you want for racing, that would have been far and away the first thing on the list for.
I can't argue with that. I mean, how the hell she got paid for doing what she did, I don't know. Maybe she were pushed anyway. Maybe it was like they do that. And
well, I think somebody must have said, look, you have to go because this is fucking hopeless.
Yeah, massive plus. I agree. Chris, you must have something.
My answers in order are nothing and everything. Nothing floated my boat and everything got under my skin. I can't think of anything, anything positive, and everything's dreadful. Pretty appalling.
This is 2026 coming up. We're supposed to be a bit chipper for racing. We've got nothing.
No.
That was Chris being chipper.
I was being. I'm trying to be optimistic. It's all dreadful, isn't it? I suppose the highlight was the tax issue, I suppose, which I think has given racing a sort of a bit of a chance of respite. But it's been so fucking awful year in all respects. I don't think there's anything particularly noteworthy, to be honest with you. Lackluster racing, mismanagement of the sport by warring factions. I think it's a depressing scenario. They've got to get their act together for 2026 for sure.
Do you know what the racing tax thing was? I've never seen anything like that in my 30 years in racing.
No.
The pushback from online abuse we got for siding with James Noyes and Matt Zaar in trying to achieve this was bizarre. Well, let's pay casino tax rates then. What good's that for racing?
Yeah.
We do it, we're all going up anyway. So why has there been no credit given to these guys? I bet they feel sick because they're thinking, right, we're going to give racing a break here. They want casino taxes to go up. They were going up 100%. 100%.
Yeah. It was a done deal, and I think what's been particularly depressing is how, people have hijacked that and said, "Oh yeah, great, well done racing," and they did nothing. They just jumped on the bandwagon at the very last minute and claimed credit. It's sort of failure is an orphan and success has many fathers, and that's a classic example because the media did fuck all. They waited in the shadows to see what would happen and then came out and said, "Oh, whoop-de-doo, well done racing," and that had nothing to do with it.
The Racing Post contribution was doing a hit piece on us for a Thirst Hospitality Day.
Yeah, sums it up, doesn't it?
That was the Racing Post, which you're not supposed to do in press circles. They never accredited Jack or the bar stewards as press accreditation for the interview. What they did sneakily, they then interviewed Sanderson on the Monday after that and used that
as the basis of the article, and that is shabby, isn't it? That's just shabby. And they punched down. And it's no excuse for punching down. This is an unfunded, independent podcast of people that just enjoy the sport, want to see it thrive, and it's just shocking, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a bad year on that front. The abuse we've had, I can tell you, not just on the pitch but off the pitch, is absolutely off the charts, or was. It's obviously dying down now because there's nothing you can do about it. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with vermin. And my negative would be the same. It would be online bookmakers that have had this cash cow and now are very upset at not being able to receive the full benefits of this regulated cash cow, and now probably will consider going unregulated. It is what it is. We did what we thought best for racing to try and keep the tax rate as it was. There will be a fight in 2026 for levy reform. That's the next thing. Then affordability. That's what I'm hoping. Levy reform first, to try and fund racing properly. That's important. And then affordability checks, possibly scrapped or remodified or reherned to be more fair for punters right across the board to be able to bet properly and not be discriminated against by online books that simply do not want their business, would rather have them playing on the fruit machines. The big positive to finish 2025 off would, of course, be, John, this is shocking for me because me and you love the flat. Everyone knows this. I looked through every Group 1 this season on the flat in the UK and Ireland. Hardly anything floated my boat.
This is where we're at, I'm afraid. We are struggling for good horses.
But that's why I got so excited when I felt alive when I watched Callan Dagan win the Japan Cup. That was
Yes,
my
well,
moment
we've
of
got
the year.
one there that can. I mean, it looks like he can keep coming back and winning King George's as well, doesn't he? You know,
Yeah. To be honest, I don't want him to run him through the winter. I hope they don't. I don't want him to like have a winter campaign, and then the temptation might be save him back an autumn campaign, and then we don't see him again.
He's the type of horse that could have a golden summer rampage, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, because there's nothing here. It'll start at odds on, literally against probably Ombudsman apart. I don't know what Ombudsman's up to these days, but he'd start odds on against literally anything. And it was only Epsom that got him beaten, Ryan Moore, in the Coronation Cup, which you pointed out expertly on the tipping show prior to that.
Don't make that mistake again.
That's only because like it's Ryan Moore. He was just outridden. I mistakenly said he was soft.
You were in good company. There was a lot of people who thought he was a bit of a fanny after that, but time did show that he was facing a bit of a task there.
So that's the positive for 2025, and we hope 2026 can deliver at least some cheer for people going forwards, because we know how tough times are, not just in racing, but in the real world. And again, mental health wise, our doors are always open. You know, I'll reply on Twitter if you're struggling. Give me a DM on Bar Stewards. As soon as I've got time to send you a reply, you will always get my full attention, because I am fully aware of what that mental health does matter, and it's important to talk, and it's all in confidence. It doesn't get shared, whatever you tell me, in confidence. So let's come on to more sinister things. We love this shit. Come on. All the workplaces used to do it. Death sweep. We're going to have one. It's a 2026 death sweep, right, John? I want 6 for a bingo card, 2 off each of us. And it doesn't have to be racing. I'm the kickers off. I'm saying in 2026, you can print out your Bar Stewards bingo cards, take it to workplace, stick a score in each. There's no affordability checks there. Winner takes the pot. 120 notes we're playing for you. My first nomination for the 2026 Death Sweep. The final shutting of the crypt door on Brough Scott, John.
Wow. That's a hell of a shout.
You've nicked my pick. That was my pick.
Well, you cheated
Blacks.
on fucking...
No, I fucking didn't,
12
you
days
lying
of Christmas.
bastard.
Yes, you
I did research.
Absolute awful man.
Research.
I'm going to stitch you on
I prepare for this, unlike you people.
Yeah.
You know, I put hours of work into this. This doesn't just happen, you know. The magic just doesn't occur.
If you can't come up with a second one, if that was on your pick, I will come up with another one. But it can be people in the real world as well. It doesn't matter. But we thought we'd have a mixture. Right, John, I'm coming to you for your death sweep pick.
I think Donald Trump's an absolute laydown in 2026.
Dear, why? Go on, explain. I love reasons.
I think the CIA has odds on to pop him.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. They can't put up with this. I mean, he's turned the place into a laughing stock.
Laughing stock, chicken stock, chlorine, maybe. I get it with presidents, and I get it with popes and things like that. Chris, what is your first choice?
Crikey, that's a tricky one. You'll have to come back to me on that. I think was the second one. I have to say, I thought Brough Scott was an absolute nap. I don't think you need a second leg for that. Just unload, I reckon. He's on his way out, I reckon. Honestly.
Do you reckon?
Fucking gone, mate. He's gone. By the summertime, he'll be turning up his toes, I'm sure.
I don't really get this. I mean, I know he looks like he's had many moons ago, but he's still moving good, you know. He's keeping pace with all the other pressmen as they follow the winners in and everything.
Yeah.
I think he could disappoint us.
For my second pick, then, we'll come back to Chris in a minute once he's gathered his thoughts. Says he researches things, does 12 days of Christmas, and then can't fucking pick a death sweep.
Yeah, because it's something you can research. You know, looking into the future isn't a talent I have amongst the many I do have. That isn't one of them.
I'll do one of them for Chris then, right? And he's got to cook me another one. I'll pick 2 out for Chris to go on it. One is King Charles III.
You feel like now you sucker.
Old Sausage Fingers drinks like an absolute trooper because you don't get purple fingers and purple noses and shit like that without supping for England. And what else does he do in his spare time? King Charles III to go with Bruff Scott. John, your second choice?
I'm going to have to put a replacement in for the King Charles III, aren't I? Well, luckily, I don't need to go too far down the game pool because I'm going to just shove his brother in, the grand old joke of.
Do you reckon?
Suicide.
Well, I think the fact that they've already taken his guns away tells you something about the state of mind at York House now. So I think it doesn't have to be smart money, does it, to sort of say, well, he wouldn't be odds on to make it to the end of next year.
I actually thought of him earlier on today, and I thought, no, because like he's so looked after and mollycoddled, but then you've just reminded me they have took his guns away,
Yeah.
So he can't blow his brains out.
Well, he can't blow his brains out. He can't come around and blow a man out for putting him on this list either. So I feel fairly okay about
win-win, that isn't it? Win-win.
Yeah, win a chicken dinner.
So we're up to 4: Bruff Scott, Donald Trump,
King and brother,
King Charles III, Andrew Mountbatten, whatever he is. Chris, now you could come to the party. People love you on this show.
I know, I don't know either. Nicky Henderson, I'm telling you, he don't look well either.
Oh,
yeah, he doesn't look at all well. Red face, bulging eyes. I reckon it's catching up with him. I reckon he could be an outsider to have a few quid on. I really do. He does not look well. He doesn't.
Right, for a bit of sport, because we're sporty, right? So we've got Nicky Henderson, Bruff Scott, Donald Trump, King Charles III, Andrew Mountbatten. I think we should put one of us in. Right, who's most likely to go in me?
Oh, fucking cheers.
Me, John, and Nick. Chris, you can decide.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? Me, I reckon. I reckon me.
Not you. No, I'll give you 3 candidates.
Go on.
Right? John always keeps saying he's fucked.
That's due to me being fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll end up with like severe liver disorder at some point.
Yeah.
And Nick Davis is always like heading down to fucking infirmary for some
procedure.
He's a squeaky gate, though, isn't it? They last forever, squeaky gates. He's not well, but he'll carry on. I've got a feeling about him. I think he's more durable than you think.
Yeah, so it's me or John.
I think it'll be you.
There you go. Right, so that's it. So the left field one, right? Just to prove we're good sports. Sinister, this is what we're all about. The 6 on the list are, let's go from the top: Bruff Scott, Donald Trump, King Charles III, Andrew Mountbatten, Nicky Henderson, and Lee Keys. And the common theme here is booze.
Yeah, it's the demon drink. The demon drink. It claims them all in the end, doesn't it?
It sounds like Jeff Banks' wish list.
Yes. Standard come late. Barring Trump, of course. Yeah.
Barring Trump. Right, so that's the 2026 Death Sweep done for next year. Print it out, take it to your workforce, and then cheer when one of us goes. And you get the 120 notes for your score investment. That's the way to play the game. That's the way to play the bet. Cheer for someone to pass over. And then put your virtue tweet saying RIP. Always like.
Always like. Nice. For what a shame. I get it ready. I've drawn 120. Let's fucking have it.
Or if you particularly fancy somebody to croak this year, get on the dark web and go on the dead poll. There's some interesting prices on there.
Right.
Yeah, not off to get paid out, but
yeah. These prediction markets that are coming into the UK today, there's no limits. They're going to soon come into the UK, and it'll be like Matchbook, I think, are orchestrating it, and it's going to be, will somebody marry in 2026? Will they do this?
Back in the day, I was losing £50 a month on the Queen Mother for about 2.5 years.
I think the problem is if you're back in Royal Family, I think they plug them in. I think there's some kind of...
it's a hard one. I mean, I think they've got, incredible genes, haven't they? And amazing medical care on tap. So they're not waiting months for operations, are they? As soon as they've got a problem, bang, the royal surgeon's there. Yeah, you need to have an operation or X, Y, Z. So they're always a bad bet, I think, because they live a lot longer than they should do statistically, I think.
Plus, there's probably 5 or 6 of each of them because they're about to get closed down.
Like Dolly the sheep. Yeah, there's whole laboratories full of cryogenically frozen royals. I'm sure of it.
Don't start with this conspiracy nonsense. They're cloning They only did it in 1980s. Don't think that 45 years later that they've done nothing else.
Well, exactly right. You know, I mean, I think Walt Disney's head is frozen somewhere in some lab on the West Coast. I think he in his will, I think he wanted his head frozen so that if ever there was a cure for what killed him, they could sort of grow back his body. So you know, it's been in the public consciousness for decades, hasn't it? Longevity.
Only an absolute mug would think cloning began and ended with Bros.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah.
The lizard
Yeah.
people. That's for a show for Midweek Madness. Join us for £9 a month. We'll chuck one in. If you want a Midweek Madness conspiracy show,
Well, yeah,
we've
we've got loads of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, from Chris's cults to
We've started most of them.
Yeah. Centre of the Earth's hollow, Antarctica's a secret portal, Nazi UFOs, a lot. We've got everything there.
Yeah, and the moon is hollow, would you believe it or not?
Well, that's right. Or outer space is a holographic projection. There is no outer space because the flat earthers would have you believe that the Earth is encased by an impenetrable dome, and what we see is simply a holographic projection. There is no outer space. There are no planets, and there are people out there who believe that.
New Year's Eve, listen to this section of the show. Lie on the grass outside, clear night sky. Listen to Chris's thoughts
just turn on, tune in, drop out, as Timothy Leary said. Yeah, turn on.
And if you lay there long enough, the police will come and swipe you up.
Well, we can't afford police anymore, can we? So, you know, local council officials will do it.
Yeah, whoever's running the skip on that night.
Yeah, and now they're banning fox hunting trails and all sorts and getting rid of that. Well, foxes will come and eat you as well because they'll move.
What are well-to-do folks like us to do to get a bit of amusement? Now they're stopping that.
That's it. Get no amusement these days. You have to, I don't know, like have private shootings and things like that, you know, where you don't tell anybody.
You just have sex parties with Miriam Margolyes and the Andrex puppy.
Miriam Margolyes, Jesus, that's a horrible woman. Ugly on the inside as well as out. Fucking rotten she is. Rotten.
Final question from Macadori. I would always have a round of bread and butter or two with pretty much any meal I make. Cook on Sunday, guys. Cook on Sunday. This is one podcast to follow. Remember to do it. Do any of you guys regularly butty up your plate?
No, because it's common, and common people have bread and butter with a meal.
Chris, do you ever have fish and chips? Like chippy? So you don't do like a bread cake, bread and butter, and
no, that's coarse. That's very below stairs. I think. Ooh, bread and butter, common. That's common. We don't do it here. Absolutely not. No, vile.
Close to South End, Rory, by the way.
Bread and butter. I suppose you mop the gravy up with yours here. Is that how you do it? Sort of use the bread and butter to mop all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do all that shit.
Dear God.
Oh yeah, bread and
Where do you stand on gravy on fish and chips, like?
Gravy on fish and chips. I'm a no, but I do like curry sauce on fish and chips.
Yeah.
I can't do gravy.
I'm a massive no on gravy. Massive.
Yeah.
I've noticed the fucking idiot that's paired up with Gary Yates now, the Danny one, is a big gravy on fish and chips man.
Yeah, horrible.
Which actually he really ought to have his scrotum nailed to something.
Yes.
I think so.
That's wrong, isn't it? It's horrible.
Are you a fish, chips and peas man?
You mean mushy peas? Yeah, I don't mind mushy. Yeah, I don't mind mushy peas at all. Yeah, it's an acquired taste, you know. But yeah, I don't mind mushy peas. But typically, I wouldn't have them. But yeah, I don't mind them.
Carlins are where it's at.
Is that the premium brand of Marifat peas or whatever it is in?
No, rather than have the mushy green peas, have the mushy brown peas.
Okay.
Carlins. They taste a lot
give that a spin.
And
there you go.
Don't boil them until they're quite mushy. Just have them just nicely soft.
Okay.
And then stick them in a frying pan with some beef dripping, a splash of vinegar, and as much white pepper as your system can handle.
Perfect.
And you'll never go back to mushy, stinky.
Fair play. See, free content. This is free content.
If that isn't a promotion for Cook on Sunday, I don't know what it is. This man knows his way around the kitchen. He knows the lot. He's like Nigella
We've got bigger tits
better
we've
than
got bigger
Nigella.
tits than Nigella as well.
I love it. I love this kind of promo for Cook on Sunday. So please don't forget to follow us on
Yes,
YouTube,
quite
like and
right.
subscribe. And I promise you, you'll have a lot of fun with me, John, Nick, and Chris on a Sunday mornings. Walking the dog at 7:30 in the morning. It's online from every Sunday, and we're back next week.
Yeah.
Of course, with that together with the sermon next week. You have a fantastic start to the new year. 2025 wasn't amazing for us.
But join
But
Edge and
certainly,
Early Bird. Still a profit for the year. Fantastic service. Go for that.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm just saying, like, I think personally for racing, we feel that it maybe hasn't as gone as what it could have. But nevertheless, we're always optimistic, and 2026 can certainly bring riches beyond our wildest dreams. This time, Rodney, next year, we'll be millionaires.
Yeah, fucking zloty, I think. That'd be it. Or rupees, I think. Or Zimbabwean pounds.
Yeah, that. Right. Have a good one, folks. That's all from us. Bye for now.